Welcome to the program. We continue with this morning conversation right here. This is KBC Channel 1. Thank you for choosing Good Morning Kenya to kickstart your morning. My name is Aguko, and as we mentioned earlier on, as always, today is a Monday, and we always have family check. Let's talk about communication in marriage in this fine Monday morning. When we look into communication, what are the things that build communication in a marriage? What are the things that prevent it from happening? What about times when you're fighting and arguing and in a heated conversation? How does communication take place when the both of you are high up like this? Let's have a candid conversation, shall we? In this particular conversation, I am with Pastor Paul Blessing, joining me today. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Hope you're well.
I'm well, thank God.
And my name is Aguko. As I mentioned, my handle is at Aguko. The official station handle is at KBC Channel 1. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. Let's engage, let's talk, let's build families, let's build our marriages and find out how best can communication be built. Paul, let me get it from you, Pastor. When we talk about communication, and I'm interested in finding out just the nitty-gritties, before we get down to the bones, how best can we define this aspect that we call communication? How is it defined in the marriage perspective?
Thank you. Yes, let's go straight to communication itself.
Yes.
Even basically without marriage, communication is just conversing. How you're conversing with another in a way you can be able to understand. Some communication can be negative, can be positive, can be mutual. And when you come to marriage, there must be communication in marriage. Usually the main thing in marriage is chemistry. There's chemistry, there's commitment, there's goals, common goals, and such things that brings bond in a marriage, because already you are married. Yeah. Now, if you are talking on the basically marriage, but we do in other relationship, maybe romantic relationship or other relationship, usually there must be common goals in what you're doing for you to have a good communication. Yes.
So we're talking about how people interact, how they talk to one another.
How they talk to one another. Now let's talk about the marriage one. The main basic communication in marriage is in the bedroom. When it breaks in the bedroom, it breaks in the kitchen, it breaks in the sitting room, and even out in the business and everything that you do. So we have to make sure that the building of this marriage, because basically what is marriage? Let me ask you a question, a direct question.
Yes.
You are a man. When your wife came into your house, the most important thing that brought her is what? Because there's your mother, there are workers, there are sisters. But she has a basic that she can't share. But sometimes we come to think like marriage is just like you came there to bear children. No. The main basic thing in marriage and communication, is sex.
Okay. You've called it as it is.
Yeah.
That is only, it can build communication.
It is basic. I don't say it's only, because you can even have a marriage and maybe children are blessings from God. But basically, what is marriage? It brings pleasure. Even if you got married today and there is no consummation, even by law, that marriage can be broken.
It can be broken.
Yes. So we have to agree that it is basic. So as we bring other things in together, so that we can be able to grow it, we need to get this basic.
You can use that as a form of building.
It builds the rest. If it is in marriage. We are not
talking about those who are dating, ladies and gentlemen, those who are in marriage setup. So if you're dating a bado, this conversation is not for you.
Let's go to the marriage.
When people meet together and they lay together, we are talking about that builds communication in a marriage. Okay. Now, you mentioned chemistry, Pastor. You mentioned chemistry, and I'm interested and intrigued by that particular word. When we say chemistry in marriage, is it something that is built over time? Or is it built through finding out, okay, we love the same things, we like the same things? Or is it built even after the wedding day? How do you build it?
You know, chemistry is inborn. It has to be built to continue.
Yes.
Because I usually say, just imagine a wedding day. We spend a lot of money to prepare that girl to look very beautiful.
Yes.
Let me ask you, the girl that was married on the wedding day, does that man see him? See that person again? In the house, he gets something different. You become somebody different. You dress different. He sees something different. And men need to see to be able to build. Chemistry have to be built, and it comes out of when you bring it out, because you cause someone to be attracted, for it to rise. And this chemistry now will also build on the goals that you have in common in a marriage. No.
So chemistry is something that you work on.
You have to work it.
You have to work on it.
Work on it.
Okay. So because today someone may be wondering, I need to build chemistry with my wife.
Yeah.
But we are just not connecting. We are not connecting. We are not communicating. No matter what I do, atupatani.
Yeah, that's what a common goals.
The issue?
Yeah, you know, this chemistry has to be strengthened by common goals and commitment to these goals. And focus to do what you are planned to do together. But you find in marriages, you find people have diverse plans. You are married like an institution which is said it's a nation of God, okay?
Yes.
But you find maybe you have different accounts, you have different plans, and when you know, even your company, if the KBC has two strategic plans, yeah, of course there'll be problem. It won't work. You have to have a common goal. So if this is an institution that you want to build, you strengthen the chemist, you have commitment of common goals, okay? Then you'll be able to be focused. But even if you try to do some chemistry which is just meant to make you happy, and maybe goals are different and there's no commitment to it, then you find that they cannot grow. They must flow, all of them.
These are things that build communication in a marriage, you have common goals.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about this particular aspect, because we are mentioning that for you to have chemistry, you need to have common goals. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, there's that inability of that. Maybe you have a problem of communication.
Yes.
You know, there's a difference between there's someone who wants to be complimented, but they never compliment. You complain more than you compliment. If you give me 3 compliments and 1 complaint, I'll see this person is serious. But if you complain 5 and compliment 1 or no compliment, communication is already breaking. You see, because for this chemistry to be chemistry itself by itself, it has a lot in it. Okay, it has a lot in it, because communication is it's verbal. There's about also there is body language. Yeah.
Okay.
You can talk to me in a way, maybe you are not talking, but you are talking. Do you know there's something that we call silent treatment in marriage? You get bored.
I read, I don't know who it was, I read online that there was somebody whose marriage was broken because of the silent treatment.
It is worse than beating someone. In fact, it is said that in the area of the brain which is affected by physical pain is the same that is affected by silent treatment. Silent treatment is worse than beating someone.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a few steps back.
Yeah.
When I'm in an argument with my wife, or in an argument with my husband, how then am I supposed to communicate with them when I am the one that feels aggravated, or the other party feels aggravated and they do not want to talk anymore? How then do you handle it?
That's why we are saying, let's go to chemist. Okay, let's say we check the bedroom part of it. That is, we said it's sex. You don't want to call it so, but I want to remind you that you are a product of sex.
Okay.
Yeah. So from now you don't take it. It is a gift of God, but to be used in the right way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm saying that if there is problem of communication and maybe you're aggravated and you don't know how to communicate, it can be one way, but shouldn't be used as a tool. Maybe to silence, because even if you go there and you don't talk about it, it will still be in the heart. Putting everything down and talking about it is the best thing. If there's no communication or having time, you set time to talk. There's a pastor who had a certain case of marriage, and these people were almost breaking, and their problem was commitment in the work. You know, nowadays we are very busy. You find maybe you leave the work at 9, your wife working in a bank, as overtime also 9:30, and you're already tired. You get home, you're very tired. Everybody is tired, and you find that there's a gap already. You don't find time to talk, and you become strangers in the same house. Then there was like, this marriage was almost breaking. Then this pastor told them, what time do you come home and what time do you come home? You realize these people don't know each other. You lock your phones, you leave your house, help with money enough for children, go in an hotel. After 1 week, let's talk. They came holding their hands. There was no time to talk. People don't talk. They are too busy.
They're too busy.
Yes. And this is something that you need to build. You need to invest in it because it is the backbone of what you do. Right. How you excel here where you are seated, it is affected by how you came out from your house.
All right. So many things are still coming up as we discuss. Yes. But let me take you a few steps back again further. The silent treatment you mentioned. Yeah. How then do you deal with your partner who is giving you silent treatment?
It can be used as a corrective measure if maybe you don't listen. And it can also be abusive. But usually say, if you want to overcome someone who is silent, there's one thing that we usually talk about. You can try to use laughter. You know, there's something very funny about laughter. If you laugh, she will laugh. Someone else, nobody will tell you. You see, you are laughing already. So if you go out and start playing with children and bring them inside there, everybody's laughing. Automatically, the person who was silent will laugh. And then you break in and you start talking. It's easy, but if you don't be careful, you can go for a year in silent treatment. So
you're saying just be happy.
Happiness is the key. It is the key, but those hormones for happiness has to be at work also.
Because now the other person may even be offended. Why are you laughing? And I'm angry.
I tell you, she will laugh. He will laugh. Laughter is very funny. It is contentious. Yeah, I said you laugh, you started laughing, and someone there was already laughing.
Okay. I hope it works. We can try that from home. To build communication, try and laugh with your partner. Okay? And see what happens. Just enter the room like a mad person. Start laughing.
But the best thing is to involve others. You see, you're already, all right. You're already there.
Let me get something else from you.
Yeah.
Does my phone password help building communication? My partner wants my password. They want my pins and every detail about my things, bank account, ATM, everything, including their fingerprints on my phone. Do those things build communication in any way?
That is immaturity for me. Okay, people, we call them views, opinions.
Yes.
I believe in space. When you are in marriage, you have space and you can be able to make your decisions, and you know how far you can go, where you can't go, and to be able to keep this marriage with integrity, what you should do. But taking phones, checking messages, that is immaturity. For me. Because let's give each other space, okay? Like now, you are in a place of work, like here.
Yes.
There are jokes that you make in the office which are not meant to affect your marriage or relationship with your wife. But maybe one message like, I've missed you. Maybe you have not been together with members of staff for long. Then someone will just say something like that with no meaning at all. It can break a marriage if there is no good communication. You see? So it was done, whoever did that message did not mean anything. But if you are not understood, it can be a problem. That's why it's good to talk. When you have an open talk with your wife or your husband, you build trust. Trust will bring confidence, and will build all other things.
Let's use that example that you've given. Your colleague says, "I've missed you," and they send you a text with those 3 words.
Yeah.
I missed you. Your wife finds that on your phone, or your husband finds that message on your phone.
Yeah.
Brings issues. And of course, that is not something light. How then could this have been prevented? Should you go to your colleague and warn them? Should you delete that message before it goes even further and is misunderstood? Because sometimes you may have something on your phone, but because your wife may misunderstand it, you delete it. Or should you tell your wife well in advance that, hey, I was discussing this with my colleagues and this was said? How do you handle that?
If you listen to this on a natural way, you will find that there is mistrust between you and your wife. Let me tell you, if someone truly loves you and have a lot of confidence in that relationship and that marriage, there are things that cannot shake them. And let me tell you, people will like you. Like you look good, of course. How many women admire you? You'll be admired. Many. You'll be admired. And if someone knows that your wife is the person that is like anything she rises, they will send serious messages to crush her. So if you can build that trust, and that a message means nothing, I'm all yours.
But then, how then do you build? We're building communication here. We're building trust here. Which one? Trust is the foundation of the other.
Trust is key. Trust will bring confidence. Is
trust the foundation of communication, or communication the foundation of trust?
Trust is key. When there's trust, there's confidence. Then communication, even if whatever comes around, this person will like, I know my husband. You can't shake me.
Even if they read the message on phone.
You go have coffee with him. Then people say, I can't imagine my husband having lunch with someone, coffee. When will he have the business deals? You will stay with him there and have no money. Because businesses are done, business deals are done by men and women. So if you protect him so much, does he not have a thought? He has a mind to know that where he should go and where he should not go, and which meetings to hold and where he's supposed to be. Let someone have space. Space. Yeah. Let your wife have space. Don't control.
Should you plan ahead when you see a problem coming? Communicate well in advance before it comes.
You know, if you build a trust between you and your wife, that let us drop petty things. Let the petty things never affect our relationship. You see, I want to tell you, it will happen. A message will come telling someone, someone said that they got a message, and they had spent a night with the wife in a holiday. And when they were coming back, a woman sent a text and said, last night it was good with you. And the wife knows, yesterday with my husband in an hotel in a different town. So this person knows this marriage is strong and they want to break it. So if you have that open mind of anything that is coming, striking you, I tell you, you will lose it. Yeah, just build. If you are good in bed, you are doing your things right. Why are you fearing other women?
Why do you fear?
Not unless you are not good in what you are doing.
Why do you fear?
Yeah,
okay, unless you have insecurities, then you should not fear.
Do your game well. I told you, we have to go into the issue of dressing. The woman that was married, is it the same that man is seeing? Because men have to see. If you don't give him something worth to see, they will go for something better.
But they should not. They should not.
I'm not saying they should go, but men, they go by seeing. As women, we go by the heart. But you people, you see and you are confused. Let's go to the ATM. I don't want you to forget that item. The ATM, the PIN, the what. Yes. If this marriage has trust and confidence, the ATM and the pins and all that, they are not important. The most important person is you. It's not the pin. Checking those messages, you may make sure you are sending messages, you are having conversations, which will never be seen. They must be in the phone. But if there's trust and confidence, I tell you, this marriage will grow and it will be very strong. And nobody will shake that person.
Communication.
Even if you see your wife hugging someone, you don't just think, what is an hug? It's just an expression of love. There's agape love, and there's love for man and a woman.
I want us to take a short break, Pastor Paul, and then we'll be back. After this break, let's handle even more issues. When you are trying to communicate to your partner, and you feel like they're not understanding what you're saying, you say A, they understand Z. You say B, they understand another issue. How can you understand each other? How do you meet? Everything you do and everything you say is always misunderstood.
Let me tell you, there's something you don't know.
Yes.
It's after break or now?
Yes, after the break. After the break. Let's, you have a lot in your heart.
I'm full. You might say.
You're full of. I want to take a short break and then we'll be back. Keep it Good Morning Kenya. This is all about communication in marriage. Good morning. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We continue with this conversation right on Good Morning Kenya. It's all about communication in marriage. And I'm with Pastor Paul Blessing in this conversation. Before we took that break, we were handling issues to do with passwords. Should you give your husband or wife the PIN or your password? And does that build communication? Does that build trust? Somebody is struggling with that as we speak. Yes, I'm talking to you. Pastor Paul,
yeah.
Somebody is struggling with that. Now, if in case somebody already gave their password and their PIN or their partner is demanding, should you revoke it?
You know, if you've agreed, let's share our PIN. It's okay. Let's have
no, you know, your partner is demanding.
Demand.
Yeah.
It's just a sense of insecurity.
Should you give it to them to help them?
Okay. Before you give the PIN, can you just handle the insecurity? What is causing this insecurity? Okay? Because you may be dealing with a branch or a leaf and there's a root. Because you can give the password, you can give the PIN, but what is the motive behind it? Yeah, because there are people who have got the PIN and maybe swindled the money and sent them to their parents. There are very people who are very funny. Let me ask you. if let's say my daughter is married and she's taking money from her husband to bring it to me. To me, that is foolishness, because if you have not agreed how to do it, you went to build your own marriage. You are building your family, but you are swindling money to give it to your mother or your sisters and your brothers, and they should be looking for their own money. Who are you building? Then you leave your husband with all the school fees and food and everything, the sweater for the children and the slippers. He's the one who is doing it. And your money you don't want to touch, and you want the PIN, and you want everything to yourself. You're insecure, everything, you fear everything. There's insecurity. It means there's something that you're not doing right. And that's why you are caring about this. If you build trust and confidence, and you know all of that we have is ours, and you put everything on the table and discuss it. I'm not saying that everything should be done openly. There are people who, okay, they have their own personal accounts, different accounts, and joint accounts, or maybe you have PIN for each other. You can do it's an open how you plan to do it. But when it comes to demand of even the fingerprint for the phone, you want to check messages, that's insecurity. And let me tell you, this is idleness. Make this person busy. Give something to do.
Give him job.
Yeah.
Give him something
that person must be very idle, because if you are busy and you have goals, you know, today I want to achieve this. You have plans and you go before God, I want to achieve this by the end of the day. You can't be running after someone's phone. Let's have these women busy, or men who are idle. I don't know whether I'm right.
You have offended somebody.
It's a personal view. It's a personal view. You know, it's an opinion. So it takes which angle you take.
Stop being idle. Give yourself something to do. But let's call a spade a spade. Let's call it as it is.
Yeah.
If somebody's idle, yes, that is what they are.
Yeah.
Pastor Paul, let me get it from you. Moving into marriage is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
And as you progress with your life, and for those who have been married for many, many years, they can attest to it, that when an argument ensues, communication is broken.
Yeah.
How do you build communication, especially in times
of argument,
when you are in a fight?
Okay, this is what we call fighting fair. Fighting is a wide statement. You may not be fighting physical.
It's not a physical. We don't tolerate it. We don't encourage it.
Okay, they're still there. We are in Africa. Yeah, let's talk about it. Don't ignore, because there is fighting. Wow. There's a physical, and there is a fighting in the mind. There is a fighting that is like that silent treatment, which is also not good. But you fight fair. Why are you fighting? Okay. It means there is a breakdown of communication. Yeah. Because someone is pushing for something that they have been maybe asking for, and they are not given. Time which is not given. There's a child who asked his father, how much are you paid in a day? And he said the amount. The child started saving. And he was like, why are you saving? What do you want to do? I want to pay you 1 hour to come and take supper with us. This man is not around. But what was he doing? He was working hard towards taking care of the family. But they needed him. You see? So you may be, this fighting is because you are not available. So set time for the family. You can decide in a day or in a week, there's time that you just sit and talk. Open talk. Just tell me what you think. Well, we think I'm not doing the right things. But you know, people have things that they hide. Yeah. And let me tell you, people have instincts and others will hear, others will investigate. When you have something that you are doing that is not within, someone will know. And of course, they will start feeling insecure. And they will start demanding for things. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it is surely a good communication where there is no problem, if there is an argument, just sit down. What is the problem? What do you want? And what do you think? And what is the way forward?
Pastor Paul, when we say it, sometimes it sounds easier said than done. Because you're trying to reach out to your partner. She's mad at you. He is mad at you. They are not listening to what you're saying. And voices are being raised. Things are being said. You know, emotions are all over the room. How do you communicate under such an environment?
But I tell you,
you're saying reach out to them. How?
But you know, what is the root cause of this breakdown? Okay. And I told you, a key thing, very key, and I want to maintain that.
Yes.
In marriage, just look at those people and I talk to them. Look at their sex life. Look at it. If there's a breakdown, and you know, sex is not just being there. It's satisfying sex. If it's not, it causes irritation. Because let me tell you, God is faithful. If you're not married, He gives you grace to live the way you are because you don't have a man. But if you are married, already the grace to satisfy is ready and it's there. It's available. And if you are not satisfied, it becomes a problem. Am I talking?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you are in marriage, have a plan of your sex life. And if it is surely flowing, go and look for those people you find. People who are old, even in their 80s and 70s, and the man and the wife are there holding their hands. Talk to them and they'll tell you the truth. They have a good sex life. Because grace is already supplied for you to be available because you have a marital duty to fulfill. So if you are not fulfilling this marital duty effectively, it will cause this irritation. You see? Especially in women. It will cause irritation and somebody becomes bitter. You don't know what's happening to this person.
Yeah.
Something is missing. So I'm not saying it's only that. There's a lot of things that causes. Because, of course, we are in marriage, it's not about the relationship with a man and a woman. We also need, there's about money, which is required. Maybe you don't have enough finances. But as we said, goals, common goals. If that money is little and it is planned for us, we all know we have planned all of it. But maybe there's diversion. Someone's taking to other people and someone else is doing something different. And you find there's a problem. Usually it is the two. You may go check about the sex life and their finances. These two are very key.
Very key.
Very key.
So if
the other third one is external pressures. Maybe relatives from both sides. Maybe you find those, as we said the other day, you find their mother-in-laws and father-in-laws that become like they are the center of interest in a marriage. If you give them room, because as we said, a man will live and cleave. Okay? So you come and build. So others should be next. Don't say that you don't take care about your family members and other people, but you plan and you agree. But if the issue of sex life and finances are very key, if you can be able to discuss and deal with this. But you just say, you woke up in the morning, you are irritated and you are high, you go to the root. Don't deal with branches, I told you.
Go to the root cause of the problem.
Deal with the root cause, So when you uproot the root, of course the stem and the leaves will wither automatically. Yes.
So when we look into what you've mentioned, as a barrier towards proper communication in marriage. You're talking about external factors. These external factors can be so diverse. It could be a relative. It could be a workmate. Or just a friend. It could be just that friend from church, that friend that you go to clubs with, or that person that it could be an ex. You know, how can I ensure that the walls around my family, in terms of communication, are so solid that any other person that comes to bring in information from outside does not manage to penetrate this wall? Because when my husband or my wife gets information from other people, it could hurt them.
But you know, you also need to receive information. The world is wide, as we said. And you know, even if you lock yourself in the house, you will get information from where you are seated. So you need to sieve what you need to hear. And when you hear it, how do you take it? There's people, you just call them, you know, I've seen your husband in an hotel. And they rise and go to that hotel. They don't know why you are there. Maybe you have been sent by the office. And you end up making your husband lose a job. Because it's like being married is just like the end of the road. That is not the end of life, that you protect him until he can't do anything. Then the man becomes insecure. He has no happiness. He has no confidence, because I am just seated here we are talking a business meeting in an hotel. In case my wife finds me here, you will beat everybody in this table.
You know, people can talk. People can really talk, especially in-laws, relatives, and those who could be even friends who do not mean well for you, and they don't support you being married to that particular individual. How do you put, you know?
And I remember before we went for the break, I told you, someone got a text, and they went for the holiday with their wife. And they were on their road coming back. And they know they were the two of them in that holiday. But a woman is sending a text saying that, I would like to have you again. Last night it was good. Because he knows the wife looks at the phone. And now, okay, read it now. Where were you yesterday?
We were together.
So, in case he happened not to have been home,
how bad would it have been? So
unless there is that trust and time to seek and take information and build on it, I'll tell you can't build anything. People are working out to make sure you don't make it in life. Also, pressure in the place of work can affect your marriage. Because you come here, you get pressure in the place of work, and you go home, you don't want to talk. And your wife is like, so you're not talking to me today, so you talk to others. You know me, I sell men clothes. I usually say that if my shop was in Congo or Tanzania, I'll be rich, because women there, they are really serious in investing in their men.
They buy clothes for their husbands.
This shirt have I weekend? No. But here you go. Nimunulia kavalia mtu. No.
Well, okay, let me ask the ladies today. Let me ask the ladies. Ladies, those who are married, of course. When was the last time you bought a shirt for your husband? When was the last time you bought? There are those who buy, but how frequent? Is it about frequency?
I've been in the field of men where I can tell you in Kenya the percentage is very low. And also a man will go and buy you a dress and will say, who chose it for you? You see? So next time he'll say, I will never buy a jacket. Or let me tell you something that affects men and marriage. You go and find a very good watch or something, and you take it to her. She doesn't like. She called her sister and gives. You didn't buy for her sister, your sister or your wife. You bought it for your wife. Now, so it will hurt you.
Final question, Pastor Paul.
Yes.
What are those things that we can do that promotes proper communication in a marriage within just a minute?
Okay, as we said, chemistry.
Yes.
Common goals, commitment, and of course, let there be consensus. And this will have to come through if only you build a circle of yourself. And also, you need information from outside. You need to watch outside, but you need to build from inside more.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's bring this conversation to a close. Finally, if someone wants to get a hold of you, Pastor, how can they do that?
Okay. My office is in Embassy House, the junction of Parliament and Arambe Avenue. I have a program called Star with Pearl. And you can get it on YouTube. Star with Pearl is S-T-I-R, starring, not Sio Nyota. Yeah, Star with Pearl. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's her social media handle at Star with Pearl.
That one I don't have, in fact. I have only Facebook and YouTube.
You have Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the name on Facebook and YouTube? Star with Pearl.
Star with Pearl.
Thank you so much. And guys, follow her and ensure that you engage with her if you have any other questions. Well, that is in regards to matters concerning communication in marriage. But yet, This conversation cannot end today. There are so many things we've not handled, so many questions that have been asked that we've not managed to answer, but the conversation is still ongoing. My name is Aguko. Thank you so much for being part of this show. That brings us to the end of Good Morning Kenya. Stick around for more of our programming right here on KBC Channel 1. May God bless you. May God bless your marriage. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks.